of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Think Tank. So I'm just going to jump right into this. I'll see if I can erase that bottom.
Yeah.
Because this is no longer that case holding Moses Christ brand.
That car jumped on curb when you were doing a lap shot. I didn't know what. Oh, turn it on.
Yes,
I think it's off. I think it's off, Leon.
Okay, there we go. I'm going to just put myself down here.
Okay, and it'll be a generic toss to my sound, just something like we spoke with some just a short time ago about what they saw, or something like that. Okay.
That's crazy.
Just, wow.
Hey, hold that mic up for me for a second, just right there. Okay, got it. Thanks.
What did you hear?
Oh, nobody can get there today. The gas is still on. They're still trying to shut it off.
You still have your things.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to find a hotel somewhere. I can replace things.
I see.
But it's cold. My warm clothes are up there.
Well, Mike, do you have a rental car?
What?
A rental car?
Yeah.
So you'll get to get some. Okay.
But anyway, well, thank you.
Okay.
Good luck in hanging in there.
Can I have your number to check with you, maybe?
Oh, it's 949.
Okay, we're in.
Ken?
949.
What 09?
949.
949.
27.
I'll look around and see. I didn't expect to see this. Whoa.
417.
Giddy up.
97.
Let me look and see if there's anything else as well.
Well, I'll check with you tomorrow and make sure you're okay.
But thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
That's wow.
Probably got his luggage in there and everything.
I'm just going to see what else we've got here for feeds.
Am I just staying on you?
No, don't move.
Do some cinnamon.
Unreal.
What would you say Sundance Square, about a mile from here?
Huh?
Sundance Square, about a mile from here?
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah. I don't know. It's right around the corner. Yeah. Yeah. Several blocks away. That's what. Yeah, I guess I have.
Okay. What's your anchor's name? Lexi. Okay.
I'm not finding a lot of live streams on this. Which blows me away. What's going on over there, guys? Ooh la la. So why is this not all over the place? I'm gonna take a look over here. Sorry, my bad. So it looks like there's a press conference coming up. Microphones are being set up, but we'll just kind of watch this for a few minutes, and then when previously recorded. Let's wait for these guys. Oh, I know. It's like, what the actual hell has gone on? Hey, Gary and Dandy. Holy shite.
Hey, fellas, for the sake of how wide we all are, you think we can move this back a little bit? Is that okay with everybody? What's your hesitation?
So CBS Texas.
Okay. That's, I mean, you want to come in? Yeah. I mean, any ideas? I'm just throwing ideas out there.
Oh, I keep doing this to you guys. I'm tired. Okay, ladies, just gotta give me a second. Okay, I don't know where that one went. Explosion at Fort Worth Hotel. Looks like it's right downtown, an older building. Yeah, there's not a lot going on in the background as far as sounds. Wind. But let me double check. I'm sure I've got everything. Yep. On. There we go. So I'll sit here until we get a presser going. Hey there, Joni. Good to see you. It's a motel or a hotel in Fort Worth. It sounds like maybe a gas explosion, possibly. Just waiting for a press conference to see if that'll teach us something. I'm not finding much for, I'll keep looking, but there only seems to be a couple places that are covering this, which is quite surprising. 11 people injured after a possible gas explosion. So they're saying it's a restaurant right now.
Here? Well, what they can say is that just looking at it, this absolutely looks like a gas explosion, and that's what just from on the surface, you know, a gas explosion, you know, that gas builds up, and then you have this this intense heat, and sometimes that'll be followed by an actual fire, but it looks like this was just more of you know, an explosion type thing. And we're going to want to know a lot more about, you know, where was if this does become a gas explosion, where was the leak, what caused the leak, and those are all the things that the Railroad Commission is going to be looking at. And, you know, presumably the fire department is going to be pretty involved in this. I know when we had those gas explosions in Northwest Dallas, the Dallas Fire Rescue was very involved in looking at what happened, why it happened, and to try to find out the cause and try to prevent it from happening again.
Having covered, you know, gas explosions in the past, having, you know, spoken with Atmos and researched this at length, what sort of timeline does that fall under when you talk about trying to pinpoint a cause and what happened and some of those specifics? How long does that take on average?
Well, I think we'll have a preliminary cause pretty quickly, but it'll take a bit, maybe months, before we'll know more specifics about what actually caused it. You know, like what was, you know, because they'll have to pull that equipment out there, they'll have to inspect it and really try to figure out and pinpoint what happened. But like I said, my ears really perked up when I heard that fire chief mention that there had been construction inside that restaurant, because oftentimes we do see these explosions involving natural gas when there's some sort of construction going on and a gas line gets nicked and something happens, and then we see something along this line.
Fortunately, Tanya, so far today, this does not appear to be a deadly explosion. Our thanks to you and your expertise. Our coverage continues on the other side of a break of this hotel explosion in downtown Fort Worth. 11 injured, but no fatalities. We'll be right back.
Yeah, obviously we are staying on top of the breaking news in Fort Worth, where there has been a explosion downtown. This just happened in the past hour or so at the Sandman Hotel on Houston Street.
There are large pieces of debris on the street, and we have seen first responders taking victims from the scene. In fact, we
Yeah, that's a really good question, Tony. One hell of a boom. Yeah, that's what, yeah, well said, Carrie. Big bad juju. Sour gas doesn't. That's kind of my thought too. Carbon monoxide doesn't have an odor. Sour gas doesn't have it unless it's, if you smell eggs, it's not lethal. If you smell nothing, it's lethal. Sour gas is an interesting thing. Oh, is that right? I had no idea. Yeah, absolutely dandy. Okay, they look like they were almost ready there and they tricked me. So we'll just go back over here.
Which shows the area moments after the blast. You can sort of make out that gray haze there, and emergency crews treating people there on the sidewalk.
And we are standing by for an update from the fire department. Adriana de Alba is there with them tonight. We are expecting them to get going here at any moment. Adriana, can you give us the latest from what you're hearing there on scene? All right, we'll get back to Adriana. They're still setting up, but what we can tell you is Fort Worth firefighters, as of 20 minutes ago on their Twitter account, say they are still in search and rescue mode there at the Sandman Hotel in downtown Fort Worth after that explosion to make sure that everyone got out of that building safely.
Yeah, actually, they did just update that. They did. They did just update that to say everyone is now accounted for. So no longer worried about trying to find anyone who may be trapped inside that building. As of about, I think it was about 20 minutes ago, everyone is now accounted for.
That's great news, Chris. You know, this happened again, like we said this afternoon, and just look at that debris everywhere. Portions of the building just exploded, just out there on the streets. There was a massive response from firefighters. And Cole Sullivan, I understand, is standing by now with an update. Cole.
Izzy, I want to give you an update of what we're seeing right here. So I'm going to step out of the way, and you can see we've moved into this cleanup phase of this investigation. They now have a bulldozer moving some of that insulation, some of that glass, some of that sheetrock from the building out of the way on Houston Street here in downtown Fort Worth. And as this investigation continues, we're hearing more about the rescue efforts to get folks out of that building. Everyone now out, and you can see some pictures from Derek O'Keefe, who was in the building next door when this happened. He came upstairs, and this is what he saw before police even arrived. And when they arrived, he says that he saw one officer pull up in that car and immediately start running in to help people. The first responder on scene trying to do everything he can to help. We're going to continue to keep you updated, and we're going to go to that press conference right now.
All right, standing by right now is Fort Worth PD there. There we also see Fort Worth Police Chief Neil Noakes.
Okay, first off, I want to apologize. I told everybody that we were going to do every 15-minute increments, and we pushed it here till 6 o'clock. So thank you for your understanding with that. I am going to do a really quick, brief recap of what we started out with, and then go into what information we have received since then. So again, this afternoon at 3:32, we had gotten dispatched here in downtown to a structure fire at the address.
Do you believe that
Houston Street,
following this, YouTube has literally already restricted my video?
When companies started arriving on scene, they switched that call type to multiple calls of an actual explosion that had taken place. At that point in time, we switched gears
24 minutes in.
Looking at it from a fire standpoint and how many, life safety is our number one. That's our priority anytime we roll up on a scene like this. So we did have to switch gears a little bit from a fire to an explosion. Now there was live fire that was in the building that has been extinguished since then.
I never understand their reasoning, to be honest with you, Tony.
And I apologize for this. The wind's kind of got my pages blowing around. It did go to a second alarm, and what that did was allow us to bring in more resources to help with the patient care and stuff that we needed, the fire, to make sure that we were doing a search of the entire building, and to put the fire out. We did have the ambulance, which comes and they can take multiple people to the hospital at one time. We had our MCI, our mass casualty trailer, that came that offers a lot more resources and equipment for us to be able to do our jobs. The calls came in. We had initial calls that people were trapped in the basement. We did extract several people from the basement that weren't able to get out on their own at that point in time. We have since then started doing our secondary all clear. We have found another patient that was in the building. Now, earlier when I talked to you guys, I said that there was one person that was not accounted for. That person was found, but since then we have found that we had another patient that was trapped there in the building. Again, Arlington has cooperated with us as they always do and staged some of their apparatus here
YouTube
to help us with
slang.
our call volume. And we do have that family assistance center that's located at lot 15 at Sundance Square parking lot, 205th Street. So what that family assistance center does is it goes back, if you're looking for loved ones, if I know we're having an issue right now because of the amount of people that are down here with cell phone service, if you have a loved one that you cannot get in touch with, you can go to the location at lot 15 at the Sundance Square parking lot, 205th Street, and we've got resources that are there to help you come in contact with your loved ones if you have not been able to make contact with them since this incident started.
So they're saying everyone's safe then?
This is still a very active scene. Based on our characteristics of the explosion at this time, we have been working in collaboration with the ATF, the FBI, with our arson and bomb division as well. And so, again, we have not made 100% determination, but we wanted to make it clear that this was some type of gas explosion.
Anything's possible,
We're still working
Tony.
on the details of that to figure out what all caused that at this point in time.
I've been using three
The
feeds.
hotel was operational. We do know that there was some reconstruction and stuff that was going on. There were 26 rooms that were occupied. So like I said, we did get, or people were either checked into the rooms and had gotten out on their own, or we did go in there and do some rescues on some patients, to make sure that we could get them to the proper immediate emergency care. The patient count as we speak is 20.
Whoa.
At this point in time, we do not have any casualties. We don't have any deceased that we're aware of at this time after all the search and stuff that we've done. So I want to bring an emphasis to that.
Nice.
I can open it up for questions at this time.
Sir, do you think that the reconstruction might have had, could you explain a little bit about what that work was and if it might have had anything to do with the explosion?
Well, so the question is, as far as the reconstruction goes, is that what may have caused the event that happened today? I don't know the details on the reconstruction itself. I don't know if it was, the hotel was operational. And so I guess basically I can't answer that question specifically for you.
So the number of injured has gone from 11, our last update, to now at least 20.
We've got 20 total. There were 19 that were treated here on scene and or transported to local hospitals. And we do have one patient that has walked into the hospital on their own from here on scene to get treatment at the hospital.
You're still in the one critical.
I'll let Matt Zabasky with MedStar talk about that.
So the total patient count from this particular incident currently remains at 20. 19 of them were treated on the scene. Of those 19, one was in critical condition.
Oh.
4 were in serious condition, but not life-threatening. The rest had minor injuries. So far, 14 patients have been transported to local hospitals. One patient did actually self-transport to JPS with minor injuries. So a total of 21 patients total injured from this event so far that we know of.
Now, are these people who were in the building? Were they walking on the sidewalk? Were they driving? Do you have any idea where people were when they were injured?
They were, we don't know where they were when they were injured. They could have been outside, they could have been inside. So we're not sure.
You said you were able to find the person missing, right?
I'm going to let Craig answer that, but yes.
And Matt, one more for you. The 14 that were taken, does that include the person who walked in, or is it 15 total?
No, it'd be 15. We transported 14 to the hospital using 12 ambulances and our ambulance.
Can you tell us which hospitals?
All of them.
All area hospitals?
Yes, we triage them we rotate them to make sure that no one hospital is going to be inundated with patients.
We saw a woman being treated outside of the hotel
know, is that the patient that was missing or the person that was missing?
Don't know.
Someone was found when you did the second sweep. You mentioned that where they.
Yes, ma'am. So when we do our preliminary search, it's a real get in quick. At that point in time, we weren't really sure. You know, they were talking about the stability and stuff of the structure itself. So when we do our primary search, it's a real get in there fast, as quick as you can, kind of room by room type thing, just like we do in house fires and other incidents. It has hazardous materials for going into a structure. Then once we kind of get a little bit of headway on the incident, it allows us to go back in a second time and take a little bit more time to do a more detailed and thorough search, just to make sure we can go room by room, looking through all the different places. You know, at some instances, like on this one, there was some smoke that was involved. So that secondary happens after everything's kind of cleared out a little bit, and we've got a better visual standpoint to go in and really feel that we've done a lot better of a job outside of, you know, the second time.
So just so I'm clear here, is it 20 or 21 patients?
It was 20 total. 19 were from here on scene. No, I'm sorry. So
This is a very fluid situation. We're getting updates as we go. So there were 21 patients total that reported injuries from this particular incident. We all treated 20 on scene. One left the scene, went to JPS on the road.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm glad we got you the right answer to that question.
Can you tell us more information about for those who are trying to find their loved ones? Can you give that address one more time, please?
So that address, we call it the Family Assistance Center. Sometimes it's known as the Reunification Center, just to be clear with all the different terminologies and stuff that goes on. That is actually at, like I said, it's at parking lot 15. At the Sundance Square parking lot. The address is 200 5th Street. 200 5th Street. So again, like I said, if you've got loved ones or family members that you have not been able to come in contact with since this incident happened, you can go down to that location and they will be able to help you get in touch with those family members. Like I said, I do know we have, just from the amount of people that are down here right now, we have been having some some cell phone issues, not being able to get out or in and things of that nature.
Sir, is there anything you can say about like how often gas lines might be inspected and if there's been any issues at this hotel or in this area?
So all I can say on that is I do know Atmos is on scene. The fire department is not over gas inspections and things like that, so you would have to contact Atmos to get that information.
Greg, are there any issues with access as you guys are trying to clear the building? I understand from talking to one of the people who was inside that stairwells have been destroyed. I guess that makes it a bit difficult to exit. How about for you guys just getting in to be able to clear things?
Yeah, so I know some of the places when they were making their way down into, you know, like I said, we had reports of people that were trapped down in the basement, and because of the explosion that took place, some of those access areas were either covered up or didn't feel safe at that point for people to get down to get, you know, into those areas to make sure that we were able to get everybody out. So that did play into the tactical standpoint of this operation. Was just safety for our people to make sure we could go down there and safely bring out whoever we could find without causing more of an issue than what we already had.
Is there a chance residents who have cars inside the evacuation zone may not be able to leave tonight?
I'll let PD talk about that.
I don't know what the question was. Is there a chance residents with vehicles inside the evacuation zone won't be able to leave tonight?
The plan right now, as far as the perimeter that's been set up, is after we talk with some of the experts that are reviewing the structural integrity of the building, if we're able to collapse the perimeter somewhat to open up some more areas, that would give people access to vehicles and the businesses in the area. Obviously, we won't be doing that until it is safe to do so, but the last thing we want to do is inconvenience anyone who needs a vehicle to get home. So we'll work with everyone we can to make sure we allow access to areas as it's safe so they can access their vehicles as quickly as possible. Yes, sir.
You've been able to determine anything about the structural integrity of the building yet?
We do have property management on scene, and they are looking into that as we speak. We're still, like I said, trying to make sure and clear the building to make sure that we've got everybody out at this point in time. So I'm not even sure yet if they've been able to get in until we've kind of went in and did everything that we needed to do from a life safety standpoint to make sure everybody has gotten out.
So right now, is it accurate to say everyone's accounted for?
I would not say as of yet. Like I said, we have had the primary search, but we're still going through right now, going room to room to make sure we do the secondary search, just so we can say without a doubt that we have gotten everybody out and there's nobody else left inside.
Building's 104 years old, kind of a historic structure here in town.
Oh, 104 years old.
Kind of event happened for you, man.
Well, you don't skip to that first. You want to make sure people are safe. Really special thanks to our first responders, other jurisdictions that have stepped in to help our 4th Fire Department and Police Department to get to this place. But of course, it's a beautiful building that was just recently renovated and opened, and so we'll work with the ownership of that building as quickly as possible, as soon as it's structurally sound enough to do so. But it's heartbreaking for downtown Fort Worth, of course, and at this point, our hearts and prayers are with the victims at area hospitals. So.
Were you here at City Hall when the explosion happened?
Yeah, I was actually at our new building, at the new Pier 1 building. So, but this building was pretty quickly evacuated, as was the federal building and others in the surrounding area.
And did you hear it?
I did not hear it, but our staff that was here at City Hall definitely did. Most of them kind of described it as an earthquake sound. Yeah.
How scary is that?
All right, again, thanks for everybody coming out. We'll probably, I would say before the 10 o'clock hour, we'll be back seeing everybody again.
Hey, Frank, can you describe the scene when you first rolled up? Can you describe what they're not seeing? You can't see it down the street.
Yeah, so when you pull up on the scene, I mean, it's there's a lot of destruction and stuff that's going on. Not only when you're looking at the building itself, that you can tell that there's been some windows. It looks like maybe some walls and stuff that have been blown out. Covers from whether it be gas or water that are inside the streets. The covers were blown off from the street side. So I mean, when you're looking, like I said, there was a small fire. I know that they had to extinguish throughout that event. So I mean, it was chaos there for a minute when you show up and you're trying to figure out, okay, how many people are we talking about? What all resources and stuff do we need to make sure that we can, keep this as small as possible, make sure we're on our end, we're keeping the resources and everything coming in to make sure that we have them there on site instead of calling for them later and you've got to wait.
I think so too, Tony.
Just as downtown got with all the emergency vehicles.
I think so
make sure
too.
that we had those resources that were there on scene.
I mean, I have seen a house after it's gone up, and I felt it when it went up.
Everything was already roped off.
There is nothing left of that house.
We're doing what they do. All right, no further questions. We appreciate it. And like I said, we'll have another update.
So yeah, I mean, I have seen the destruction after a gas explosion. It was a doctor's house, and there's a gas leak through the night. And when they're not sure if it was his coffee pot that went off or his alarm clock, but they think as soon as that spark hit, yeah. So yeah, I'll stay peeled. I don't know, 10 o'clock their time. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So yeah, I'll try and catch that next update for you guys. And if anything else comes out, if we find out anything else that maybe this was intentional and not an accident, I'll jump on that for you too. But for now, guys, I think I have to eat. We streamed all day today. Go check that out. We're going into closing arguments tomorrow on Teresa Black's case. So check that out and hit that subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget to hit that notification. And that way, if I do something later on tonight, you guys can all jump on and you don't miss anything. So that said, have a great night and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.